Hello everyone, I'm your host Sharon Berkowitz, and we're at Sungates Center for your good health, your wellness, and happiness in your life. And today my special guest that I have the honor and privilege of introducing to you is Kristin Panek. Welcome, Kristin.
Thank you, Sharon. It's great to be back.
Well, Kristin is the founder and spiritual director of the Flowering Heart Center in Downers Grove, Illinois, a non-for-profit organization that creates sacred space for community healing and transformation into higher states of consciousness. She offers counseling and workshops for the community of over 500 members. She is also a trainer and a sacred chamber facilitator in the Oneness movement, which is what we'll be talking about today, the phenomenon and the gift. So welcome, Kristin.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm great.
So can you tell us a little bit about this, the phenomenon and the gift?
Well, it's a gift in and of itself from Oneness University in India. This program has come about, it's evolved because as individuals and collectively, we are experiencing a lot of chaos in our world.
Mm-hmm.
You may have noticed extreme weather.
Happens so quickly too in our lives, and it's sometimes hard to cope with.
Exactly, exactly. And so as things get more unstable, as things move faster, many people feel like things are speeding up, they have more to do, they're being bombarded with more information from many different sources. So what happens is the mind can't cope.
Mm-hmm. So how can we navigate through this?
Well, you can't use the mind.
The mind tricks you into a lot of things.
Well, it's the mind that's overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. But we're trained to think our way out of things. That's what our education sets us up for.
Right. It's how we've grown up and how we've always coped with things is, how can we analyze it? How can we come from the mind?
And, the mind is a useful tool, but it doesn't work for this kind of overwhelm and trying to cope. So what we need to do, as Einstein said, we have to solve it from a higher level of consciousness than the level of consciousness which created the problem. And so that's the game. It's how to shift into higher consciousness. And it's interesting, a friend of mine's doctor was saying how many patients are coming to him with deep levels of anxiety and stress. Mm-hmm. Everyone. And he says they don't even know how far off center they are. It's like that's the new norm. Mm-hmm. So with this, what happens is we get caught in this downward spiral and we're getting to lower levels of consciousness. That's where the fear, the anger, the rage comes.
Right, all the emotions, the feelings, and it's causing turbulence within
with the weather as well.
And the weather. Absolutely.
That's our consciousness affecting. So to spiral back up, to lift back out of consciousness, we need something bigger than us.
Right, to lift our vibrations, to go to a higher consciousness that will also allow and facilitate that, to go deeper within.
Exactly, and that's what the phenomenon, we call it the phenomenon, that's what its presence here is helping us do. Right. Humanity's crying for help in many different ways, and this is the response. And the phenomenon, the energy behind that, what it does is it actually shifts the brain physiology, so the actual physical structure of the brain changes.
That's so interesting because, people want to feel happier, and they want to feel better about themselves and better even about their choices and what they're doing in life.
And I heard that happiness is part of your theme here, and in Oneness we say happy people make a happy world.
Oh, excellent.
So that's one of their missions. So the physiology, it brings more energy to the frontal lobes, and that's where we experience more compassion. We experience the higher consciousness qualities, more compassion, more creativity, more focus, all the things that we are useful, practical in our everyday life.
So it seems like it's a better way to flow. It's a way to be in life.
Exactly. Exactly. Instead of resistance.
Right.
Yeah, and not only the brain changes, but the heart changes. Its physiology changes as well, which we don't hear so much about. But we do hear, many of us have been told that we want to lead from the heart rather than the mind. And so we refer to it as the heart intelligence, and that awakens through this gift of this phenomenon. And with that, with those two changes, we have more reliable, consistent access to that still, silent place within. You know, it can be chaotic out all around you, but you can find that center stillness, that place where you can tap into whatever it is that you need in that moment.
Absolutely.
So that is what this work is bringing to us. And the phenomenon and the gift weekend itself gives us practical tools for reliably accessing that. It gives us a 9-step process to manifest what we want. And it's taught by guides at Oneness University in India. So they're sitting inside the Oneness temple, and they are transmitting these teachings. And these teachings come as a transmission, as an experience. You know.
So people that go to the phenomenon and the gift will have that experience with these spiritual teachers who are from India. So that is the Oneness University. And so what exactly is the lineage and tradition that they come from?
Oneness is not a religion. It's not a path even. Although it seems like it. You see the picture of the temple on our flyers. It in fact is called a phenomenon because it's here for a window of time. So it doesn't align with any particular religion, and because of that, it can pull in tools, and it does, from any religion for whatever we're working with. So it could use meditation from the Buddhist tradition, contemplation, prayer, the Christian tradition, ritual, the Hindu tradition. They pull from everywhere, and it's quite interesting because actually we end up with a lot of people in it who are also name themselves as atheists. So there isn't even a need to believe in something. But what I have found and what I've noticed for people is through that connection that oneness gives, it helps you connect with your higher sacred self. And so people either find their path, they find their connection, they find their faith, they find what their purpose is here through that connection.
It deepens the bond that you have within yourself so that you can experience life in a different way, that you come from a place of grace and love and happiness. And that's what we're talking about, happy people.
That's right.
So if they're living their life in a happy way, and no matter what is happening around them, that they can still see the beauty in life, and with grace, they could still live their lives.
And that's really important because sometimes we think that if we're doing all this personal growth, this work, this connection with the higher self, that we'll be able to float through life. You know, that's the payoff that the mind tries to tell us. But actually, what you said is absolutely true. The challenges still come. That's part of life. It's part of helping us grow, actually. But this increased awareness that we get when the brain starts to shift, I know in the face of the challenge that it's moving me towards what I want. And so without that resistance, I have access to the intelligence about how to respond, and I can rest in the trust that it'll be okay, that it's leading me where,
I like that, because when you have the trust and faith, then that also helps you to move forward. And I like that the idea that the physiology, that there's a shift in the brain and the heart, so people are awakened to something greater than what they're currently going through. And I have a quote here by Sri Bhagavan, and this is from the the Oneness Blessing book by Paula Rosenfeld. And he says, the awakened one flows with life. The unawakened one struggles with life. And he also says the purpose is to live. So
it's simple, isn't it?
It sounds so simple. Can you describe a little bit deeper what this means?
Yes, that flow is letting go of the resistance. And you might become more aware. I notice I'm in resistance to so many things, you know, to the traffic on the way here, to getting up in the morning. You know, resistance can, so
it shows up in many different ways.
Many ways. And when we can see the resistance, it starts to release. And then I can be in the flow, and I can enjoy the process of getting up. I can enjoy the traffic. I can enjoy whatever arises.
Right.
And
that's a gift.
And that's a gift.
That's a huge gift. That would transform the world.
It would.
And this phenomenon is just taking over. It's international, and it's going through a lot of countries now that are able to experience this. And then people actually experience changes in their life and may have new experiences, or how they are actually experiencing it. Yes,
it is sweeping the planet right now. Every weekend there is a phenomenon and gift happening somewhere in the world. Many, many different countries. It started a little over a year ago, and a year and a half, and tens of thousands of people have experienced it.
That's amazing.
It's
so amazing. And the next one, yes, go ahead.
No, I just want to say, because you said people are experiencing benefits from it, and the stories continue to come in of all the miracles, because the way this is designed is you can take one desire in with you and work with it through the weekend. And that's your gift coming out. And I had a friend who was praying for a partner, and I hadn't seen her for months. And she showed up at the Flowering Heart Center at the Diksha night, and she was pregnant, and she had a partner. She had gotten married, she had a baby on the way, and a new house. And I was like, wow. She said, yes, the phenomena, it was totally that.
It's an inner transformation, and it'll transform and change your life. And it sounds so amazing. So there are a lot of benefits. And can you share any other result that you've heard about?
Yes, there's a realtor up in Toronto, and he generally was selling homes in the $800,000 range. And so he prayed for success in his business, and immediately started moving into the $1.5 to $2 million range on selling houses, and he was very successful.
That's incredible.
And I've had 2 or 3 people in our regular Diksha evenings who had not been able to find a job, and coming out of the weekend they got jobs, and jobs that were, you know, good jobs that could pay their bills. And so I'm seeing immediate impacts from people who come. It's quite extraordinary.
Great. Yeah.
And this time, Sri Bhagavan, who's the founder of Oneness University, whose quote you gave a few moments ago, he is actually on screen with us for, you know, several minutes during the course, and that's an extraordinary gift.
Yes.
That's new. He just started doing that the last round, and so he will do it again this round. And to have that personal connection is to be able to sit in the presence of someone in such a high state of consciousness. It's extraordinary. So that's a rare opportunity.
So that's an extra bonus.
Yes.
Right? To come for the weekend. And also, I see that there's a lot of flow in abundance and prosperity. And it's not necessarily just with money. It just has to do with how you live your life, how you can go deeper and have those wonderful experiences where you feel abundant. So it's not just a tangible, it's also an inner feeling.
Yeah, it starts actually with the inner feeling.
And then it manifests out into the world.
And that's what I'm seeing is, one of the things I see is so resistance shows up as lack in many ways. And if you start to become more aware, I see all the places where I constrict, where I ask for less than what I need, or I see what's wrong rather than what's right. All these different ways of lack. Once you shine the light of awareness on it, it disappears, because you see.
Right,
It's
revealed.
a story, it's not real. And so what I see happens over time is the ability to receive opens up. It's like our receiving channels have been squeezed, narrowed considerably. And I don't know who it was that said, God is like an ocean, don't bring a teaspoon, right? And that's what we do. We come so this opens up the receiving channel, so we can.
So it releases those limitations, or the beliefs about our limitations that we think that we have, but it's actually the way the ocean just moves. No one has to tell the ocean how to move. It just does. And the river flows, tell the river how to flow. So that's also taking it upon ourselves to say, okay, when we shine the light and we have that inner awareness, that's the steps that we need to take. And the phenomenon of the gift addresses this and helps people to
very
open
deep bond
that up
with our inner guidance. And many people come asking for guidance, and they get that connection open so that they have the guidance. They know how to access it.
So the Phenomenon of the Gift weekend, what would they experience as far as their additional spiritual or personal growth, and what makes this different, would you say, than other programs?
This is creates such an extraordinary energy field, high vibration. It opens up that connection, and you get initiated to give a golden orb meditation. So that phenomenon, once you're initiated, that phenomenon is with you, and you can give the golden orb meditation to groups or individuals, and they can experience the phenomenon. So there is a way of passing on this grace, which is hugely powerful. And the energy, the physical changes in the brain that happen, in the heart, these accelerate whatever other path you're on. So some people think I have to choose, I'm doing this other work, but this accelerates whatever you're doing. Sometimes it's been called sugar. It makes everything that much sweeter.
Right.
So it's a foundational piece for anything else.
So even if people are not even experiencing or think that they're practicing something spiritual, can come to this, or anyone that is on their own path, they can always add this to whatever it is that they're working on, and it'll work with this as well.
Or anyone who wants happy relationships, more prosperity, more love in their life.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kristin. It's been an honor to have you here at Sungates Center. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we close today?
Yes. In one weekend, you can shift from being in the struggle to being in the flow.
And
so
here it is.
Why not come?
Why not come? The Phenomenon of the Gift is in Chicago, in Schaumburg, July 1st and 2nd. And this is over at the Wyndham Garden. So for more information, you can contact Kristin Panek at the Flowering Heart Center in Schaumburg, or Downers Grove.
Or you can go onto
here.
the Oneness University Facebook page. It's Oneness University, the Phenomenon and the Gift, and you can get to our event on there. And just tune in and see, what gift will you ask for in that weekend.
So thank you again, Kristin Panek, and thank you to Sungates Center. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you.